Justin for Friday, September 23rd, 2022. Zoom way out, taking a look at the 3 minute, just trying to get some perspective. We had, a big sell off Wednesday into the close, gap down Thursday, and then we had a big sell down. Well, not as big of a sell down Thursday into the close, but then a bigger gap down Friday morning. So we kind of we just kind of chopped around. I was just trying to see, like, is there some similarity to how the day is opened? We had kind of a high wave candle here that I drew the purple line into, and then that kind of held as some resistance. We almost tagged again. This would have been a great place to short right here off of this level. You had some time to do that later in the day on Thursday, but it wasn't great. And then it was consolidating so much you weren't really sure how far it would go down. For Friday, it really did sell down quite a bit. The other thing I think that helped with that is we had one of these. Let's see some more here. We had one of these bullish candles closing below the 10 exponential, and then kind of interacted with that level. Inside candle, and then sold down some more, kind of triggering on this candle. I was trying to figure out, like, how could that have been played better with the option? And so first thing I did was just kind of draw this line in here to see, okay, well, at what point do we cross this and don't hold it? If we trigger, and then could that be played as like a retracement? We tagged it here, again, not quite here, similar to this one, kind of same space above that candle, but that was a sharp decline. It wasn't really a great bear candle. I mean, that one, bull candle below the 10, and then, technically did get triggered on this candle before it closed, but then would your stop have been way up further up here? I don't know. We can look at that, but what I did notice was where this was setting up, look at the puts. So that was, forgot to grab what time that was. That was triggering at the 10:36 candle. So that's 10:36 central. So at this time, this is the candle we were closing above or below on the SPX 3-minute, but on the put, we were closing above it here. So like maybe 320. This candle 330, the close is 327. The next candle opened at 322, low at 312. So it should have filled at 320, maybe even 325, just a nice round number. I was trying to figure out, like, what would you have gone with to kind of set up this trade, and then how far back down would you want your stop to be if you have an option like this, which is going kind of sideways. I mean, it did have this lower wick here, and that's the only really thing that was concerning at 1024 when I had that spike up here. Your stop, to get your stop way on the other side of this, you're gonna have to be in an option further away. And this is the 3650 put. But I think you can either go with what that option price was when it triggers, above this, so like 320, 325, something like that would have worked, and then 225 would be the stop, a dollar away. That would have worked here. I would suggest going back and figuring out how well would that have worked consistently, or would you have to go with an option further away? I think really just getting kind of a rule of thumb of, like, okay, what's the range of these candles? Even this candle was under a dollar range. So you want candles that are well under a dollar range by the time that's triggering. So you can just look back historically and be like, okay, this one's 1.1, this is 0.55, 0.8, 0.85. You can get a feel for, okay, these candles are having kind of a decent range, but under a dollar. So that when it triggers, it should continue in that direction, and then it should give you some bigger gains, but not come back and hit your stop, or hit your even come back and hit your entry again. But then I was trying to figure out, like, what would be a better entry. So this is stuff I still need to figure out. I meant to spend some more time on it over the weekend, but you can either do what that next 0.25 would be above that level, or even just take where the 10 exponential is on the put option, or on whatever the option is, and see if you can just kind of round that. So, like, the 10 EMA here was 316, so round that up to 325 or down to 3. Well, it wouldn't have filled at 3. Would have filled at 325, so that would have worked. And then over here, like, here's this one at 341. You could round it down to 325 or up to 350. Just something to give you kind of a round number to aim for. If you went up to 350, would not have filled because the low over here is 309. But if you continue to do that with the 10, even if it has a big spike and comes back down, and if the idea of rounding it is it doesn't have to be an exact fit, but you could do 403. I don't know, depending on your broker, if you get filled exactly at 403, if you got to do 4.00 or 4.05, something like, sometimes the options are having certain prices like that you can only set in a broker to fill at 0.05 or zero point 0.1. So kind of gets around some of that. Or you could do the exact value. So this one set a entry at 403 and a stop at 303. Or here at this one, now it's 412, and I'm looking at the blue price up here. So like the next one is 412, and then 415, and then 430. So again, you could round down to 425 and round up to 450 and have your stop $1 below, and they give you some cushion that, okay, the exponential is trending, it's going in that direction. It should help support, a bounce off of that level. And I think that's a good way to kind of gauge this when we are seeing, the same kind of trend happening on the SPX, and you can expect it to happen the same way on the option. Now, it's not going to always work. Like this, we broke below and stayed below quite a bit, but then we came back down to the same prices. So it's like, okay, if we're holding the same prices, then maybe we'll get back to trending again, or at least buy off that price and then see if you can get out when it has that kind of bounce. So there's all kinds of rules we can put in place to say, hey, this should work here, So like maybe it didn't work to buy at 325 here, but we were able to buy at 4 here. Well, you can buy at 4 again over here, or even over here. It's just like be careful when it's coming back up too much. And this is just an arbitrary, like this doesn't have to be. There's no reason it should stop here. Didn't quite get back up to this low or quite up to this low, but I did like, hey, look, we triggered here, trigger on this candle. Look at the angle. We hit that, almost hit that. Hey, let's look for us to get above that again and cross above it. Maybe we'll hold it. And sure enough, we held it over here. So that'd be a good place to maybe look for a call. Was it 236? What was going on at 236? Excuse me, we were bouncing right here. So the low on this was 0.8. You could buy absolute zero, buy it at a 1, and flip it out at 2 or 3. It looked like 3 would have worked on this one. So just a nice way to just take a quick reversal with just an arbitrary line drawn in where it's like, hey, look, we broke out, we came back, retested the previous high, bounced off of a purple line, buy at that low, and look to exit pretty quickly because it's right near the end of the day and things have not been going bullish. So it's just a quick way to see, hey, how could this be moving? What could I do to just set up some framework with some lines and then look to get into something absolute zero toward the end of the day? That works any day, definitely works on a Friday, but we'll continue. So from here, we've been going down for so long. I was saying it's like we don't have to have a bull candle, not yet, but now it feels like we need one. We had kind of a hammerish sort of candle here. We got down to this point. We did actually close this gap between these two. We have all these lower wicks now above us. We could have some buying coming. After weekend, people kind of reassess. It's like, why are we down so far? This is a great place to buy. And some people will buy and push it back up. And we'll see, maybe they'll go back up a little bit. Maybe. But if we do take out this candle, I mean, we had, I think, a shaved top. Yeah, so this is a shaved top. So if we do get above it, we'll trap some bears, definitely. If we gap down again, look for the same kind of thing to continue. Look for an open that's going to chop a bit, maybe some high wave candles. Let it get back into the 10 and see if it can give you a nice entry to roll down further like this. That took till about 10:30, which is a good part of the day for things to roll down. So look for something like that to set up again. That's what I got. Hope it helps. This is Justin. Thanks.